Hello and good morning, Mr. Brandon Flowers. How are you, sir? How's life at the moment? Obviously, it's a bit of a weird time at the minute. I think I understand that America's kind of getting back to normal at the moment, but how's life, mate? How's it all going?
It's been going great for me so far, thanks.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Now, I have to say, genuinely huge fan, have been for many, many years, like pretty much everybody, to be honest. So it's a massive honour to finally get the chance to chat to you. What I'm about to say, Brandon, I mean this with so much love and so much respect, but I have got a slight bone to pick with you, and this is the thing, right? So, in the last 18 months, everyone else has been in lockdown, and people like me, we've just been sat on our backside. I've been drinking too much. I've been eating too much. I've been watching too much TV. I've put on about Freestone. I'm a hollow shell of the man I once was. Meanwhile, you put out not one, but 2 albums in that time. Do you understand how bad you're making people like me look with all your hard work over the last 18 months? What happened? What got into you, mate?
I just sort of... What is 3 stone, by the way? How many pounds is that?
I have no idea. I love the fact producer Will right now is frantically Googling how much Freestone is in pounds. Will? 42 pounds. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, okay? Because maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit for comedic effect, but the point still stands, Brandon.
No, I saw it as a blessing. We finished the record, and everything got shut down, and I was able to continue working, and I had a studio nearby, and luckily enough, we just were able to make another record, and it was, it really gave me a sense of meaning, and gave me something to do.
Yeah, I bet. And were any of these songs that you've been sort of playing around with for a few years and you finally had time to finish them, or are they all brand new? They've all come to you in the last 18 months or so?
They're all brand new except for one lyrical idea that I had been batting around, and I just hadn't found a home for it. And it was one of those great aha moments when we found the instrumentation that fit this story, and those are kind of few and far between. So it was really a victory.
Oh, mate. Well, I love the album. I'm not just saying that to be nice. Genuinely, I've been listening to it a lot. I've listened to it a few times, and I absolutely love it. Before every song, and this is a bit different, and for people that haven't heard the album yet, before every single song, there's people talking, and it's kind of a bit of, I guess, a love letter to your hometown and where you grew up, and it's people talking about the area. And who are these people? Are these actors? Are these real people that you know? Did somebody just walk around the high street with a microphone in their hand? Because I love it. It adds a lot of context to all the songs. But how did it actually get put together?
It was last minute, because the album is all set in this town that I grew up in called Nephi, Utah. And our producer Sean Everett at the last minute just said, there was this great podcast that I listened to where somebody went to a diner and all they did is interview people in the diner for an hour, and I loved it. Let's just get these people and get these accents. And so we just sent somebody to interview in Nephi, the town that I grew up in. And so these are real people and people that were just willing to kind of spill their guts or just talk about anything. And it ended up being really setting the town and setting the tone for these songs.
Yeah, I love it. It makes it, like a proper concept album, and they're so rare nowadays, and I just absolutely love that part of it. Now, I don't want to use all the cliches, but I can't help it because the album it's different, and I'm going to use so many cliches, but it's more personal, it's more intimate, it's more introspective, and all those words that people use about albums like this. But it is, and it's brilliant for it. Yeah. Do you have any doubts when you're putting out an album like this? Because it would have been very easy for you. Imploding the Mirage, amazing, got a huge reaction. There's a formula there that works. You're the Killers. It'd be very easy for you to put out Imploding the Mirage Part 2 straight away. But you didn't. Yeah. Is there any part of you riddled of any self-doubt when you're putting this thing together? Or are you going, we're the Killers, we'll be fine. People are gonna love it.
Yeah, no, you do have a little bit of trepidation. It's almost like we're addicted to filling the seats and these big songs, and we've grown into that. And that's one of the beautiful things about the band, and giving the fact that we're from Las Vegas, we take all these licenses that that only we're allowed to, and it is a wonderful thing. But so when you start to write these songs that are austere and that have restraint, I did wonder what what to do with it, or how people would perceive it. And I was a little bit nervous, but they just kept coming. The songs kept coming, and I'm just really proud of it.
Yeah, and you should be. And I guess it does help. Like you mentioned it there, you're from Las Vegas. You're not from a boring town. Like if I tried to write an album about my town, I don't think I could write a verse. There's nothing going on. But you've got a genuinely exciting town to talk about, so it lends itself to an absolutely amazing album. I just thought it was really impressive, and I guess I'm praising you, and I'm sure you've had enough praise in your life, but I'm praising you for the fact that you did it, because I'm somebody that would take the easy option in life always. So if I knew we could just write a Killers album and it's going to go down really well, but you did something a bit different, and I have to take my hat off to you for that. And when during the actual process, and I've asked a few bands this in lockdown, you mentioned it there, you got more time than ever. So you've got more time than ever with these songs. Do you have a terrible habit of constantly going back to them and constantly rethinking them and overthinking them? Or once you put them out there and you finished it, you go, do you know what? That's done. Put it on the album. It's good to go. Because if I had so much spare time, I'd constantly want to tweak them.
Yeah, you feel like sometimes you can get into this trap of feeling like the more that you labor over something, the better it's going to be. And we definitely are guilty of that. But this album, we really made a conscious effort to not do that. And that's also another reason why we had such a quick turnaround. It was a really organic way of mixing. We weren't using the computer. We were using the desk, like they would have done in the old days, the good old days. And so it really limits you and you get these almost more authentic versions of the songs, I think. And so that was another a sort of brave thing, I think, for us that we did.
Yeah, no, it comes across completely. Now, I also want to ask you about something else you've done in lockdown, because I have watched this video so many times, and I know that you have told this story a million times, but you're going to have to tell it 1,000,001 times, because I want to talk about Dustland that you put out with Bruce Springsteen, because I've watched that video so many times. It's so cool. And anybody listening that hasn't seen this yet, by the way, the Killers and Bruce Springsteen doing Dustland Fairy Tale. The video is a work of art as well. Bruce is there. You just see his silhouette. He's strumming his guitar. Then he comes in with Cinderella in a party dress. It's just so good. It's so good, right? So I've watched it 1,000 times. Can you please humor me and tell me how that came about?
All right. We were about to go. We were about to leave to England, and it got shut down. We were promoting Imploding the Mirage, and then COVID was just starting to freak people out. And Universal, we're under the Universal umbrella, and they sort of sent out this blanket email to everybody saying it's kind of over, or do it at your own risk. But we don't know what's going on with COVID if you're going to do promotion. So we went home, and I was at the airport. And I started getting these texts from Bruce Springsteen, but I didn't have his number saved on my phone. And so I thought that it was someone messing. I really thought it might be someone messing with me. And anyway, it turned out it was really him. But one of the things that he was saying was, we should do Dustland one day. And so he thought maybe we'd cross paths touring or whatever. And obviously, we all know what happened. We got shut down, and after months and months of sitting around, I thought, why don't we do a quarantine version of Dustland? And he was all for it and really cool about it. And we're just man, it's one of those pinch me moments.
I mean, I was going to say to you, because I mean, there's a lot of Bruce Springsteen to a lot of your tracks and a lot of your albums. He's clearly somebody that you listened to a lot when you were growing up and stuff. And I guess when you are the Killers, there's not many things left on the bucket list now. You're one of the biggest bands of all time. There's not many things left on the bucket list. So to work alongside Bruce Springsteen, like you say, was one of those pinch me moments, I guess. Is there anybody, have you got like a wish list of people that you haven't worked with yet that you would love to? Because I'll be honest, I don't think you realize how big the Killers are, mate. You realize you could just ask them, right? Because they'll say yes.
Yeah, you too. We've just been, it's kind of incredible, the people people who I put their posters on my walls and listen to, and being able to meet them, and they say, don't meet your heroes. And for the most part, I've had a lot of great experiences with that. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've been really lucky, not touch wood, as you guys say.
Yeah. I didn't realize you had that expression over there. I appreciate you.
We say knock on wood. I changed it for you there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you making me feel at home. Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I mean, it's so cool, that Dustland. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, then please go check it out. Now, speaking of people that I would love you to work with. I'm being purely selfish here, and I know that my opinion doesn't really matter for anything, but I'm just going to throw it out there. So next year, you're finally in the UK after a tour that has been delayed a few times, but I know so many of our listeners have got tickets and can't wait to see you. And supporting you at a couple of dates is the brilliant Sam Fender, who is killing it over here in the UK. We absolutely love Sam Fender. We love him here at Radio X. And he is... There's a lot of Springsteen in Sam Fender. You can tell he was very open about his love for Bruce, and the use of the saxophone in Sam Fender tracks is so Springsteen as well. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you could team up with Sam Fender at some point, you would make my job so easy. Because if I'm doing a really bad show, if I just play the Killers and Sam Fender, the listeners will be like, oh, you know what, Toby, you're not so bad after all. So if you could do that would be great. So if you could please hang out with Sam Fender a lot when you're working together, please could you do that for me?
Yeah, I still haven't met him yet, but yeah, we love what we've heard so far, and that'd be a fun little collaboration.
But I'll warn you now that he's a Geordie, which means even I don't understand a word he says. So you may struggle to.
Why I?
Wow, it was like you were in Newcastle there for a second. That was. That was amazing. Thank you very much. Genuinely, I'm going to let you go because I appreciate it's early in the morning over there. But Brandon, thank you so much. Genuinely, huge honour to chat to you, mate. I've been listening to you guys for years. So thank you so much, and appreciate you putting out 2 albums in lockdown. We needed music. So thank you very much for all your hard work. So the rest of us lazy so-and-sos could sit back and relax.
So-and-so. See ya.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Radio X.